So Matthew, Chef Matthew of Obar, Sydney City. I am here today to ask you a number of questions about just basically menu development, essentially. Mostly entirely menu development. I'd like to get your thoughts and opinions and facts, and if God forbid you had any, on said topic. What do you think about the introduction and the use of basic coloring principles, like balance of flavors and textures and smells and things, etc., in your menu development? How does that affect you?
I would say you have to have all those things. In that, if you want a good menu, you can make a menu without balancing it or without really thinking about the menu and putting what you want on it. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't balance, people aren't going to want it.
It's true.
If it's too heavy on one aspect, where it's too much meat on the dish, or the colors don't look nice, people won't order it, and you'll end up wasting money and time and effort, essentially.
True. So it's almost necessary to have this balance of yin and yang. No like black and white. Like there is no black and white. Like gray space is like the duality of man. I completely agree. But and how do you go about implementing these things, these thoughts and ideas into your menu development? What are your strategies and thoughts on menu design? How about you maintain this balance?
I mean, it's a collection of things, I believe. Experience, as you grow into being a better chef, the more years you have and the more experience you have, you start to know what looks nice. In general, what color schemes go with what designs.
So experience plays a big part of it, though.
It absolutely does, but also at the time, what's trending at the moment. Like all things, food has trends, and some things will be popular at certain times when others won't be. For example, now tacos is a very big thing at the current moment, and you got to work with that. You have to offer the public what is trending at the moment, because it's what the public wants.
That does lead me very nicely to my next question, which is mostly about customer expectations. Because as you were saying, you have to work with what you're, it is what it is, and if it's not on, it's not on. As I've been told by many experienced chefs. So yeah, I mean, it's true. You are necessarily inclined to work within the expectations of certain customers. Is there any point in time where you don't have to meet customer expectations?
I suppose depending on the level that your restaurant is perceived at. For example, Ki or Tetsuyas, they really become trendsetters as opposed to trend followers. Like, they have such a name and such a reputation built up around them that they essentially can do really whatever they want, and as long as it looks nice, which pretty much all their food and things do, the public will enjoy it. It only really, unless it's very out there, for example, like offal and things like that, the public generally isn't, they're not a fan of that sort of thing. So and really, as long as it looks nice and it tastes good, if you're a trendsetter, you can do really whatever you want. But for most other, I would say 90% of restaurants around Sydney, or maybe less than that, but like a large percentage of restaurants around Sydney will have to follow the trends because they just don't have a big enough reputation to do whatever they want.
So the reputation of high, and generally I'd say trendsetters are the high-end sort of restaurants. Yeah, so they're also able to price their meals at more dearly than their trend following sort of counterparts. Would you agree?
Absolutely. For example, Obar right now we have a charcuterie plate, which is very lovely, 6 different types of meats, but it's $50. Like, it's very expensive, but when you really break down the dish, you understand why it's so expensive. And I suppose that's one of those things that comes with being a trend setter. And again, it's a very fine line. I think you have to have a certain reputation and level to be able to do that, and which I don't think most restaurants.
But I certainly imagine that not even the most expensive places wouldn't be populated their menu entirely with $50 meat dishes. There's a couple of cheaper options at Obar.
Absolutely, there's it ranges, and the charcuterie plate is definitely one of the higher priced menu items. Like most things are not at that level, but
yeah, indeed. Well, it's been really illuminating with your experience at Obar. And just thank you very much for all the time you've been able to, just break off from your busy schedule. And again, thanks very much for taking the time to interview me and give me your full undivided attention. For sure.
No, yeah, all right.